Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 19th of October. Just a reminder, I've put a link on the bottom of this video, or below the video, regarding our 2 days in the trading room. If you want to come and join us, ask questions, find out a little bit more, look at the 4 currency pairs I'm particularly interested in at the moment, which on my major watch list of currencies, so find out a little bit more of those and why those are there. Do join us on Wednesday and Thursday. Right, let's get on and look at the markets in general here. We'll start off, excuse my, there we go, let's get to the calendar first and look at today. I just need to, so I've been using this, looking at the calendar with the guys in the trading room yesterday, and we're just going through some features. Okay, Tuesday 19th of October as it is. Monetary policy meeting minutes came out for Australia, barely moved anything significant there. Bank of England Governor speaking today at this afternoon at 1:05 due to deliver the welcoming remarks at an online conference. Okay, so he was quite hawkish over the weekend, suggesting rates would be changed sooner rather than later. Who knows, might get a bit more hawkishness or just a continuation of what he's been saying. FOMC meeting members. There are a number of them. This is only 2 of the speakers. There's a whole group of speakers today. This Friday becomes the cutoff before they can't speak again before the next meeting. So I believe it is, or Friday or Saturday. So this week we'll probably see most of the speakers speaking at some point or another, throwing their 2 pennyworth in. Okay, that's the news or the news events there. Now, bearing in mind there has been sort of some weakness on the US dollar overnight. You'll see that through all these markets in a moment. We've seen quite some moves. It would appear, well, probably a number of factors coming in. For what I can see is basically the debt agreement in the US still not agreed, still not made. There's still lots of factors in this, and it's just we're seeing a bit of a retrace for sure. I mean, we look at the likes of the euro here, and it's been sold off quite strongly. It's seeing a bit of a bounce. It's not major by any stretch of the imagination at the moment, but we're seeing some sort of bounces here. That might change come all these speakers coming out tonight. One thing that's certainly marked up, I was looking at the Fed data yesterday in terms of expectation, and interest rates look like they'll probably be increasing a lot earlier than it's imagined that US interest rates would be increasing as possibly as early as June next year. Now, when the speakers start talking about that a little bit more, or get pushed on that matter, perhaps we'll see a bit more of a bullish dollar. But for now, it's a sort of weak dollar. The yields have fallen back a little bit, or had fallen back a bit. Let's have a look at the yields. Yeah, dropped off to 1.6s yesterday, dropped off again this morning, and falling away, but takes the pressure away from a stronger dollar, or even a dollar that was just holding yesterday for long periods. So let's have a look at the currencies then. Euro, you can see on this daily, well, today we've already done, I said yesterday we'd already done as much as we'd done on the Friday, but it did very little afterwards. Today we've done as much as we did yesterday, just about, by the looks of things. Actually, let's just have a look. 50 points yesterday, 49, okay. 2 pips out then roughly, of doing more, but it's already shoved up this morning, which makes it a difficult trade for me to get into from here. It's lots of spiky action sitting here at the hourlies at the moment, which could see it sort of it's a bit of a retrace. I'm always a bit wary of movement that runs through the Asian session like this, but if it gets up there and consolidates, it's really just waiting for the consolidation to break. But it's, as I said, it's already done as much as it did yesterday. Yesterday it broke the trend line that had drawn across there. It took some time. It managed to come up, tested it about 5 or 6 times, depending what time frame you're looking at it, particularly around this area here, and eventually broke out, but was far from convincing originally, still staying within a sort of a normal daily range. Well, less than a daily range, it's only in a sort of normal daily range as it stands now. I'm a bit wary. I mean, if we get any sort of retracements, it may offer the opportunity to buy. Lots of speakers out. It might US speakers. It might spoil things. They're looking like they're more towards the end of the day, later part of the day, certainly the afternoon, of course. But we'll see what happens when they start. Yeah, so Euro, difficult one for me. Would like to be playing the long side because that's the way it's going at the moment. However, it might all change. The pound yesterday was a really awkward one. It didn't end up anywhere near like the euro there. It's ended up a negative day yesterday. Very, very choppy. It got into this range here. Wrong range. wrong area. It got into this range here and barely moved. Sorry, it's a 4-hourly chart. But the thing with the pound is still got the higher lows, higher highs running through it, and it's still looking relatively strong. Looking at the hourly time frame here, you can see yesterday. There you go. There's the chop. I mean, it's as messy as anything, all over the place. Eventually taking off through the Asian session. It didn't even manage to push out before then. So tight old market, never broke its trend line until, as I say, through the Asian session. Just that erring a little bit softer sort of approach. Now some people will be looking at the MACD here and see sort of there's a divergence across the highs there. Probably different moves, but let's just put my RSI on for a moment. That's it. Nothing too much to worry there. But again, the way where it's got to, it could simply dip down again. Now looking at yesterday, I do my normal analysis, and I just add a bit of this here. But with the euro, I'm looking at what the big money is doing. The sentiment's still quite bearish there, and technically, the weekly view was a bit on the bearish side. It's technically sentiment was quite neutral from retail traders, but well. The pound is still a little bit on the sort of it's got a potential bit more bullishness about it, and we could see some more money coming through into that. There's possibly a little bit more to hopefulness that there's going to be lots of interest rate increases next year to boost it more. But there we are. I'm sure those people that have bought the houses this year don't want those. Dolly Yen been shoving up here. Quite some pace recently. Today though, today already, it's just seen the strength against the US dollar. Now this is against the US dollar, so just bear that in mind. So lower highs just coming through. You can just make it out on the hourly, 4 hourlies there. Hourlies, you can just see the lower highs coming through. And this, remember, this is yen against the dollar. You'll look at the yen against some of the other pairings and see largely it's been quite softish. But at the moment, looking well, weekly pivot could be in view as a target at some point. I'm just quite wary, just running into 8 o'clock as I'm talking now, and just easing back a little. Aussie dollar really has shoved through. It's consolidated for the previous 2 days there. Yesterday it just consolidated, didn't really go anywhere at all. You just see yesterday just came off, bounced off. It looks a lot clearer here than it did during the day. That afternoon bar then just really giving that bullish engulfing bar, and off its eventually run from there. I say eventually because it did consolidate again here and push through the Asian session there. Minutes didn't really make a great deal of difference to this apparently, but it does look like there's a biggish old bar at 2 o'clock. But anyway, I was a bit concerned of the way it's just been sitting here, because I'm bullish on the Aussie dollar, and it pulled back here, got the weekly, that was fine, but I was just put off by how slow and it had been in the previous couple of days last week, but well, it's certainly made up for it this morning, but already gone. Difficult one to be chasing for now, and it is a case of some of these things are just patience. Canadian dollar, I'm bearish on the US CAD, so I'm bullish on the Canadian dollar, that is. So pleased to see this continuing its move. Yesterday, consolidation day, a bit of an update, and we'll see bits like this running. And again, it ran into its pivot, eventually rolling over as an afternoon bar again. It saw the movement gradually working in. It was slow though. Okay, it looked quite big on this bar here, but just retrace part of that into the later part of the evening, but sold off strong, and still to me it's one of the stronger pair out there. So retracements offer me opportunities. New Zealand dollar finally on here again, shoving up quite solidly. We've got to be wary of the New Zealand dollar. It's become a bit more bullish. The sentiments got a bit better from the big money. And we'll see how this continues, but it's right close to some previous resistance there, and that resistance played off for quite some time. It was around that area at 71.55, so we'll just see how that reacts. The very fact that it's pushed up through the Asian session here may mean that it will stop at around these levels and consolidate again, but if it can break that area, well, it'd be a bit much more bullish on that. I'm still looking at New Zealand dollar, looking at the rates, and it looks like with the inflation coming through, that it may force interest rates further, and maybe at a slightly quicker pace, but certainly it becomes a good carry currency. Okay, cross pairs, Euro Yen. Just looking at this one. So I'm not going to go beyond this time frame, but you can see how it's continued to push up there, and solid. A little bit slower today because the yen itself has gained a little bit, but it's still giving way, yielding to these other currencies. If you look at the yen pairs, the pound yen, it's about there. The pound has stifled a little bit yesterday, likes of the Aussie yen. There you go, pushing up into its monthly R3 at this stage. So yen pairs, I quite like a few of them, particularly New Zealand yen. Giving away what I'm looking at my major pairs here, but this New Zealand yen, lovely breakout last week, and it's been just pushing up and pushing up. It's one of the more solid pairs, and the carry will affect that. Again, I can talk about that on Wednesday, Thursday. Right, okay. One pair I've been mentioning, Euro CAD. So this is looking the opposite side of the euro here, and the CAD has just been so strong. I mean, I got into it on the 6th. I mean, I wish I'd say got in it back here on the 23rd or something, but no, quite a way down. You don't always have to be first into these markets, and you can still carry quite a few points out of it. The position's up a couple of hundred pips at the moment. It's ticking over nicely. Maybe if we can see a breakdown here, we'll get a bit of continuation. Yes, I can see a bit of divergence at those lows, but it's consolidating around them at the moment. Right, okay. Sorry, I'm just covering those factors off. Let's look at gold then. So gold, a bit of a bounce off its daily 500. I'm not massively convinced with gold, but it is an inflation currency. Effectively, when inflation starts pushing, gold tends to do a little bit better, and we're seeing that now. And there we've got the higher low coming through there. I've been quite sort of well, because of all this, you get into these periods and it's just not really a day trading currency. It becomes very awkward. Even looking at sort of today's movement, we were saying that we've had a decent shove, haven't we, already? So but it is temporary or otherwise getting a shift up there. It's a pinched old day yesterday. I'm just watching these markets. They may just benefit as we run through this morning, but it's looking slightly more on the bullish side. Big money's gone a bit more bullish on gold, and I wouldn't be surprised gradually if we see this pushing up a little bit more now. well, I say I'm afraid. I'm not afraid at all, but it's sort of just getting that look about it technically that it may have a bit more of a swing to the upside. Okay, that's gold. Oil. Oil shoving up pretty well again. Yesterday it shoved up and then fell off the 84 mark, pushing up again today, and looking like it's potentially got some more. Just untradeable for me yesterday. Well, it eventually just rolled over. I was looking for the long side, but it went too early. It went about 11 o'clock. And off it went, but I'm looking at sort of 2 o'clock to be trading oil. It's struggling in the afternoons, and there will be pressure. So there's sort of a caveat, a warning there. Just be aware that the Biden, US president, is putting pressure on OPEC now, starting to try and put pressure to produce more oil. They are producing under quota, by the way. For the second month they're producing under the quotas that they're allowed to produce at. So these widening quotas, they're doing it, why they're doing it, why it's happening, but it is coming in under quota, and that's putting obviously more pressure on that market. Okay, let's move across to quickly now to we're going to have a look at Bitcoin first then. So Bitcoin's still pushing up here. It's consolidated yesterday a little bit more towards the end of the day. It picked up a bit better. It's dancing around a little bit, but it's just consolidating where it is at the moment. I would have expected with a weaker dollar we might have seen a little bit more of a push there, but it's not yet. Maybe it will push on further. Ethereum's it's just still not catching up. We've seen this sort of double top, and that's it. It's softened. Likewise, Ripple just unless it's moved now. No, it's still not in the game. The only one really in the game at the moment is Bitcoin. The others are consolidating. So that's where we are there. Looking at the indices. Quick look at we've got that running. Well, Evergrande did pay paying their onshore payments, which has maybe cheered the markets up there somewhat. But they still got only a few days before they got to be paying their offshore before they default. To see how the market reacts to that, but for now it looks like there's an element of positivity across in Asia. We see an update on the Nikkei as well, so a bit more positiveness. And we saw that yesterday, pushing through into the. We saw the S&Ps pushing through yesterday, and we're seeing it pushing the futures pushing through at the moment. The Nasdaq there also pushing up there and looking, well, they must have a bit more in them at the moment, and it seems that they're ignoring this sort of talk of interest rates and everything else and debt, and it's once again the money's just pushing in there, so I can't step in the way. I was looking yesterday thinking I might actually get a short off on the S&Ps, but just not to be. Looking at the markets this morning, the UK market first, and the FTSE just, well, yesterday sold off a little bit, but it is around near-term highs. Did pitch up a bit this morning first thing there, but a little undecided at this stage. Just to wonder whether it'll go, whether it'll pick up a little bit more, but they're erring that way. The DAX is a little bit more blocked off still. It's sold into that daily 100. Maybe it will go back up there and break it later. We'll see. It's just looking a little, well, it's just hanging in there now, isn't it? The CAC though negative this morning, bearish engulfing yesterday, just not really keeping up with the other two. Maybe this is the sign of things to come through Europe. We'll see. Looking just a little bit more dull as we start the day. Right, that's pretty much it for me. I'm sorry, I've got to go. Gold is a buy. Sorry, someone's asking me. Potentially on dips and retracements, looking as possibilities. But it has gone a little bit more bullish. The retail market, not the retail at all. The sentiment of the bigger traders is just turning back a little bit more bullish on gold. Okay, personally, I still don't like the pattern of gold too much. It's looking a little bit better than it was. I don't trade it very much. I like it when it's trading trends. Where it's very choppy and you can easily be chopped out on an intraday trade. So I tend to leave it more than I trade it in when it's doing what it's doing at the moment. When it gets into its lovely periods of trending, that's the time for me. Right, on that note, I've got to fly. I wish you all a great day, and remember, if you want to come and join us for a couple of days, there's the link at the bottom of this below the video. Have a good day. Bye for now.